Basically, the world did change. And what happened is we are facing today 21st century paradox, and that's what we show you here. And it's a huge paradox that we are all facing. And what are we talking about? On one side, it seems to us that the world became very flat, right? Everybody speaks English. There is like a global English wherever you go. As long as you speak English and you know some kind of English and some kind of a level, you manage, you find your way. It's very easy to fly. It's very easy to find people on LinkedIn. It's very easy to start communicating with people from different countries all over the world. So it seems as if the world is very flat. And we also have the technology that totally supports it. Like I mentioned, LinkedIn and any other way of media. Also, when we talk about personal life, we know that we chat with people from all over the world. We get support on different websites using the chat. You're all familiar with the chat, right? You can open the chat and speak to people that you think that they're from the States, but they might be even from India. You don't even know where they are. So the world becomes flat. But on the other side, basically we speak English, but do we speak the same English? There is one English for the States, and there is another one for the UK, and there is a totally different one for India. This is one. And also, when someone says something in English, do you really understand what is below the line? What do they mean? You hear the words, you think that you understand what they said, but when we speak about, let's say, about negotiation, the partner that you're working with is saying some kind of a sentence. Do you really understand what he means? What is he expecting? What is below the line? Usually we don't. We understand some kind of a level, but not everything, not 100%. So there is a global English, but there are many, many, many differences into that English, and also to be aware of the differences, not in the word, but in the meaning and also in the values.
Cultural spaces, when we write emails, we sit in our own cultural spaces and we write an email to somebody who sits in their cultural spaces that are completely different from ours. And we send that email with our cultural language, English, right? And it lands in the box of somebody who is in India. But what they read is not what we meant to say, because they read it from their own cultural aspect. So are we understood? Are we too polite? Are we too concise? Are we too rude? Are we too long in getting to the point? All of this is culturally oriented. So the world has indeed changed from what it was, but the solutions have remained the same. And the solutions are people skills. And that's what cultural awareness is about.
I want to talk about the dangers of cultures of similarity. And basically, what does it mean? I assume that before you go, for business in Korea, I would assume that you stop first and you get some, I hope that you're going to get some training. Usually you're going to take someone with you who's local, who's going to translators to be with you, to escort you, to make sure that everything is understood, the explicit and the implicit, so you don't miss anything. But what do we do when we find someone in the States, for instance, or in Canada, or even in West Europe? We find a new customer who's in France or in Germany, and you say, we can start communicating. We are speaking all English, right? I'll be very polite, okay? I'll make sure that I'm polite, and it's going to do well. What happens is those cultures are quite similar in a way, but there is also a difference. And what happens is in that area of difference is all the misunderstanding, all the things that we're not aware of.
So a person who has cultural competency has four main factors that they know how to do. Number one is they first of all have the motivation to go out of their own comfort zone to understand that there are cultural differences, and the way I interact is not the way that my Japanese colleague would interact. The second is they have the knowledge, they've learned to apply skills to adapt their behavior to that of the culture they're interacting with, so that they can lead and manage effectively cross cultures. And they have the strategies, the skill sets in order to enable successful business interactions. And lastly, and this kind of combines them all, they have the flexibility, once they have the strategies, the knowledge, and the motivation, to adapt their behavior in real time so that it works. Okay, by understanding that what we have here on the table are cultural differences and not personality differences.